lot of it starts off with our stance. A lot of it starts off with our hands, our head. As far as defending ourselves when we're on our feet. And then what we do when we do get people in positions, when we do catch them in front headlocks, or when they do get to our legs. Because if we can just prevent ourselves from giving up points, we can be in the match to beat any wrestler that you're up against. You guys agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's what we're going to first, that's what I'm going to talk about this whole session, is defending yourself, stopping your opponent from scoring. And then tomorrow in the session, I'll go over some offense, how to go get people's legs and how to take them down. So the first thing is, and you know what's really funny about this is I still have to talk about this in practice every day, your stance. You have to have a good stance. And you know, when you're watching those guys in the NCAA finals, go ahead and take a seat for a second. 5, all the way up to about 57, 60, 65. Those guys are out there and they're on one knee just because they don't want the guy to be able to get underneath them to get to their legs. I mean, that's how guarded they are of protecting their legs. And then you'll start to see, which is a bad example, great wrestler, one of the best wrestlers I've ever seen in my life, Ruth, he comes out and he's standing straight up. You know, that's his stance. And for me, it's amazing he can get away with that at that level. He's just a freak. Most of us can't do that. I couldn't do that. Just give my legs up and expect to win matches. So your stance, if you guys are watching the tournaments and you're watching some of the best guys when they go out there to wrestle, and it's, you know, they're willing to go and put their hand on the mat, get all the way down to the mat so the guy can get his leg, then your stance has to be really important. It has to be one of the most important things when you walk out there. So it's important that when you're up on your feet, that your hands are close enough to touch the mat at all times, and your head's in the line of fire so you can protect your legs and your hips. Okay? And as coaches, when I start to talk about these things, how many times are you in practice and you see the kid not understand? And it's one of those situations where if you don't correct them, try to keep them in their stances, they're going to always have a hard time keeping people off their legs. If good guys get to your legs, they will take you naturally. They drill, they practice, they train. So what you want to do is you want to prevent them from getting to your legs. So stance, hands out in front, always close enough to touch the ground at any second. And I think that's a good stance. It's not so much me bending my legs, it's more me having my, my lead leg out, back leg straight, and bending over at my torso, at my waist, so I can actually stay in a stance and wrestle and stay here the whole time. I want to stay down, and if I can't stay down because my opponent's head is lower than mine, then maybe I might even have to take a knee until I can either get my hands on him or make him come up so I can come up and engage in the wrestling. But I don't want to allow him to take free shots, okay? Now the thing about your hands, I always like to think of them as like feelers on a bug. You know, like you see these little shows all the time, they have the bugs and they're blind, and they have their feelers always moving around trying to touch stuff. Well, that's what your hands are trying to do. You want to get your hands on somebody or something. So when you're in your stance, backhand reaches, lead hands down, protecting your lead leg. Lead head stays down, protecting. Backhand reaches, because that's a long, hard shot for someone to get to. So come on up here. What's your name? Brennan? Okay. Where are you from, Brennan? You're wrestling people. Whenever you're putting your hands on, it's usually when people make mistakes, when they come out of position. So when there's a break in the action, when you guys are tied up, push away from each other, it's when you start to come back and get tied up, it's when people start to make a mistake. So one of the things you always want to make sure you're training yourselves to do is always one hand up, one hand down, and trying to get hand-to-head contact or hand on your shoulder or your body so you can't shoot on him. So hand down, reaching, hand on him, you never got an opportunity to shoot. What happens though, in the heat of the battle, you're moving around, I push away, and I want to just grab it. Well, look at that, that's protecting my legs. And so these are things that you want to practice, and we do this all the time, every day in practice. And it's still hard in the heat of a battle for guys to understand. Whenever there's a break, when you're coming back, that's when the best guys are looking to score. When you're coming closing that gap to get to each other again. So down, backhand reach, trying to get your head on his head. And then you can see, when I'm doing this, it would be really difficult for Brandon to actually be able to shoot on me because he's going to shoot right into my arm. Okay? That's what you want. You want to make sure when he does shoot, he shoots into your arm so you can actually control him. Everybody understand that? We're going for front headlock and move it after that. So, go ahead and get your stand. Get a good stand. Backhand reaches. Backhand. There you go. Reach it out. Because I'm gonna have a hard time getting to that shot, but I also want to make sure that I reach with this hand, keep this hand down protected. So if I try to shoot the single, down block and stop. Backhand reaches, forehead to forehead now. Now we can start wrestling. All right. So it's important when you and these things are born. Granted, I think that, you know, when you think about wrestling, you think about the moves and doing stuff. But unless you learn how to unless you're in the right positions to do the moves, none of those things are going to work anyway. You're just going to be getting taken down and your butt kicked. So you got to learn how to do the unfun stuff. Stay in your stance. How you approach contact with your partner just as important as shooting on your partner. So one hand down, backhand reaching, trying to put your head on his head so you can get to the position where you can start working and looking for shots, posts, singles, doubles, all that other stuff. So, Brandon, come over here for a second. So, you little guys, I'm going to quiz you guys after we get done with this, all right? Really important, making sure that I'm in a good stance, and when I reach with my what? Backhand. If I reach with my front hand, what happens? You see my legs wide open for me. So I want to make sure I keep my lead hand down to protect my legs. Protect my legs at all times. So if he does shoot, he shoots into my arm so I can actually go to work. Okay? Now we're going to actually move into when the person does shoot. Okay? We call it down blocking, we call it. So a person shoots, we want to down block the shot, put ourselves in a situation where we control his head and shoulders so we can actually front headlock him or spin behind him. So Brandon, he's going to shoot, down block. And goes down in the mat, into his body so I can keep him right in front of him, but he never got a chance to grab my leg. One more time, let's go a little bit slower so everybody can take it. So my hand stays down and he shoots, I down block. And the thing about a down block is not just putting my hand into the mat, it's actually coming forward and trying to make contact so I can keep him out in front of me. So one more time, let's go a little bit slower so they can see what I do. He starts going, boom. See, I'm actually attacking him when he's attacking me. So I want to keep him out in front, and it's almost like I am trying to punch him, but I'm not doing this, I'm just doing this. So I want to make sure he knows that I'm there, and every time he shoots, he's going to get a forearm to the shoulder, and I'm going to try to control his hand. So he can shoot, down block, the other hand flies high in the armpit. Okay, so turn this way, Brandon. This is the part where I mentioned I was coached by Bobby Douglas. Kind of go to, get on both of your knees and kind of build up. Yeah, there you go. Just a shot. Because one of the things about being coached by Bobby is we work our butts off on being in this position in the front headlock. And one of the things that you will notice from all the guys that he coached, we're all good there, but then guys went on to coach like Kale and Heskett and Zeke, and all of their guys are good at the front headlock situation. Okay? One of the things that we were taught that we do a little differently than most people do is when we stop a guy with a down block, we grab high in the armpit. You gotta kind of put your hands in the mat like you're kind of wrestling. Build up, there you go. Grab high in the armpit, and the other hand comes out and goes in the armpit. We control both armpits with our hands. This is the one thing that you'll see differently from guys that Bobby coached and other people. Now, I'm gonna ask you guys a question. This happens to you guys all the time. I've been watching you guys wrestle today. You do a great down block. You stop the guy's shot. What does he 9 times out of 10 do? No. I grab him here. What does he usually do with this arm? He grabs it. Go ahead and grab it. No. This arm. Grab it like you would normally. Right here. How many of you guys have gotten to this position today, wrestling? So you shot, he shot, and I call this, turn this way a little bit. I call this, when I shoot, I down block, and I underhook him here, and he grabs my arm like, and I can't get it out. He's scared, and I'm more scared than he is because I got my arm hit. I don't want to move. I just want to hold here and hope the referee calls a stalemate. That's not a good position for me to be in because I have position of advantage. He's underneath me, so I don't want to underhook him. I want to make sure that my elbow's free so I can actually score. So when I down block, as soon as I stop the shot, arm flies out and he has nothing to hold on to. Does everybody know what I'm talking about? Brendan, come on real quick. Let me use him for just a second. It looks like he's been in this position before. Defensive position, I can't score on him. All right? So that's why when we do the down block, hand comes out. Now, what are you going to try to do with this one? What are you going to do with this one? Well, because if you don't do anything, I just walk behind you, right? Bring it back here. Okay, go ahead and try your leg. Okay, that ain't going to work either. Got a lot of weight on you. A lot of people are going to tripod. That's what you'll try to do. Go ahead, tripod. Tripod. Bring your butt up, please, Scott. Bring your butt up. There you go. If you don't do that, I'm just going to go behind. So a lot of people will try to go to a tripod, and there's a series of things we're going to do, what we do from there. Now, I'm going to back this up for a second. Once I stop the shot, once I stop the shot, I want to clear my arm out so we have nothing to hang on to. And now I want to wrestle. Now when I get in here, I can push him, and I can snap him down again and try to run behind him. And if you watch Taylor wrestle, he gets a lot of falls from this position, a lot of pins. Because what happens to a lot of people when you start to try to go behind him, when I pull, he tries to defend, he turns into me, go ahead and turn into me, and then there you go, it gives me the cramp. How many times have you seen Taylor get this position on people? I mean, he pinned 3 guys in the same tournament. Same move, same position. So the guy shoots, stop his shot. Now when I start to spin, he has a choice. Either he's going to let me go behind him, which most of us aren't going to let him happen, we're not going to give up points, or he's going to try to turn into me. And that gives me my cradle. Okay? Every single time. And I can dump him this way. I can hit the bubble move on him and take him backwards. There's a lot of things I can do once I get my hands locked. Alright? So, going out here real quick. Simple drill that we would do, and I still do with my guys every day. The guy gets in a tripod. He just took the shot. You gotta spread your legs a little bit, bro. There you go. Get your legs underneath a little bit more. There you go. So I just shot. I get him in a tripod. Both hands come here. I can shoot to a single. Notice I don't even have to see that his legs are there. I know his legs are there. So I can take the single. I can come here. I can come off to the side. No. I come over. I grab his leg on this side. Now watch what I do with my hips. I take my head out of it. And then I come back and I double. Or, what's your name one more time?
Caven.
Caven. Or Caven tries to pick his hands up off the mat. You got to bring your feet underneath you, bro. There you go. Bring your hands up. Or I ankle pick it. Straight back. Okay? Or the last thing is, I'm here, I start to spin, Caven tries to counter, and I cradle. So those are positions that we work on all the time. So we know once we get a guy in this position, we have such an advantage. Because he has nothing to hold on to. I can go this way, I can go this way. If he turns into me too hard, I can cradle him this way. I can also cradle him this way. If he tries to pull his hands up, he has to bring his feet up underneath him. Now I can go for my ankle pick. So this is something that we drill every day, all day. We want guys to shoot so we can get here. That's one of the things I can almost guarantee you. In the heat of a match, when you wrestle the best guys, the other guy's probably going to shoot. I mean, the best guys are going to take a leg down. So if you know that's going to happen, you have to have a good front headlock. I mean, you have to be good at short wrestling. We call this short wrestling because you're both on your knees. You have to be good in this position. So try to one more time, so I can show the routine one more time. Bring your legs underneath a little bit smoother. There you go. For yourself. So I shoot, he shot, I stop him, I can come this way, double. That's the side. I shoot when I come to double too. I can come this way, single. Notice I come up to my feet so I can finish high. I can go this way, he turns into me, cradle. This way he turns, this way he turns into me, cradle. Or he tries to pick his hand up. So really, I trap him in every position possible he can possibly get out of. And so that's why we pull our hand out and go to both hands and armpits. Question. Chris Bono, Zeke Jones, myself, we don't keep our hand here because he can hold it. Grab my arm. He can. If I lock my hands, go ahead and try to arm drag me. There you go. There's a lot of stuff he can do with my arm underneath him. There's nothing he can do when I block and take my hands to his armpits. And I'm telling you right now, he's in a bad situation because even though I'm on my knees right now, I can snap him still from my knees. That's why we call it short wrestling. I can still pull him down with a lot of power. You okay, bro? Okay? I'm sorry. I can still snap him, and once he goes to his elbows, I got the easy spin behind. So, down block, both hands to the armpit. Notice that I'm not sagging on one side when I do it. I want to be square so I can actually attack either side of his body. Everybody see that? Either side of his body. Now, this is the best thing about wrestling, and this is the part, I didn't start wrestling until I was in 9th grade. The reason I kept wrestling is because I love learning the moves. I love learning how to do the moves to the guys. That I still do. And so I also understand that there's certain ways, the moves only work if he gives me certain positions. So go back down. So if he stays on his knees, I'm going to reach every single time for his ankle. Because once I grab his ankle, he can't spin away from me very easily. Go ahead and start spinning. He can't. See that? Puts a lot of pressure on his hip. So what a lot of guys are going to do at this point, turn that hip down so I don't hurt you. There you go. Don't turn that way because I just got two. You're going to turn the other way. Turn this hip that way. Nope, turn it that way.
Hip down the other.
You guys see how, like right now, I'm going to hurt him? I'm going to go behind him. So you got to turn this hip. That. Oh, there you go. So I'm here. You turn the hip that way. Okay. So he stays on his knees. Every time I attack ankle. Every single time. Hard for him to square up or turn his hips that way. Go ahead and spin that way. As long as I got ankle, he can't do it then. Then he gives me cradle. Tripod's up. If he's already in the tripod, that's when I come here, double. Come here, single. Okay? So it's important to also understand what moves are going to work when the positions that he gives me. On his knees, always attack the ankles. When he's in a tripod, high crotch or double legs, high crotches, ankle kicks, work very well. Any other questions? Good question. Pressure. Okay, so going back to what I learned and what I teach, because it works, it's effective. Once I down block and stop him, both hands fly to the armpit, I drive into him with my legs. It puts all the pressure in his legs, and I can feel him driving back. It's like a spring. Now I take that spring and I let it go. Then I can go behind him. You know what I'm saying? So I use his legs and his pressure against him, and then when I feel the pressure, I pull him down. So it makes him work the whole time. Okay? How many times have you guys been in this position and you're sitting here, even if your hands are locked and he doesn't have anything, and you just sit here and you're waiting? That's the worst thing you can do. You got to move here. I have position of advantage, and I don't want to move by jumping. A lot of people try to jump behind. He brings his arms up, bring your arm up. There you go, and stops you, right? If you don't jump, you walk quickly. Okay? So I here, walk quickly. I'm going to keep my weight on him the whole time. I don't jump. I want him to carry my body weight. Okay? One of the things that I always try to make people understand when I'm showing this position, what's the difference between you doing this or this? There is no difference. The only thing is, I'm in front of him. I'm still pushing my pressure into him, trying to go behind him. No different if I was behind him, trying to break him down. I'm using my legs and I'm pushing into him the whole time. I want him to carry my body weight. That's why we have weight classes. I want him to carry my body weight, so I have that position of advantage. Be realistic about wrestling too. Just because you have a good down block, just because you stay in good position, doesn't mean you're going to be able to keep a person off your legs. We all understand that. So there's a few things that you always should be trying to do when a person leg attacks you. Most important thing is, and this is something that bad habits that I'm even trying to correct in college, is you want to try to use your hips and keep him squared up with your hips. What's your name one time? Caven. I won't forget that. That's a tough one. Caven. All right, I'm gonna forget it. Caven. All right, so Caven, if he creates a good angle on me, I'm bigger and stronger than Caven, hopefully. I look bigger and stronger, right? At least bigger. Okay. So if Caven shoots a shot on me and creates an angle, so right an angle shoot on me. Okay, so go back up. So you're gonna shoot there, okay. So let's say he passes my elbow, turns me and shoots on the leg. Okay? Because I can't get my weight on top of him, it gives Caven the best ability to score. Come up a little bit, Caven. All right, so he has a good chance of scoring because I can never get my hips and my weight over top of him. So come back out. So even though I do everything right and Caven gets to my leg, I still want to keep him squared with my hips. I always want to try to get my hips squared with him. Okay? If Caven shoots, he beats my arms, he beats my head. So he shoots. I want to keep him square with my hips. See how my hips stay square? So he's carrying my body weight. That's why we have weight classes. I want to keep him in front of my hips. That's the strongest part of my body. Doesn't matter what shot he shoots. He can shoot a single leg. Shoot a single to this side. He can shoot a single leg. That's a head. That's a high contact. Put it inside. I want to keep my hips in front of him, square, so he has to carry my body weight. So important. Even if he gets my legs, that's what I'm trying to do the whole time. It's going to give me the best opportunity to protect myself and defend my legs. If he shoots and gets an angle, go ahead and shoot on me, doesn't matter. Now I'm in trouble because I never got my hips involved and I can't use my weight as an advantage in this position. So everybody understand that? So when a guy shoots on you, you don't panic. A lot of you guys, people shoot and you turn away, or people shoot and everyone wants to do this. Get on my leg again. This is what everyone wants to do. I call this a free shot. I hate this. You try to pull the guy over. Because you never gave him your hips, he's going to keep shooting. The only reason he's going to not shoot is because you make him pay for taking the shot by making him tired or scoring points on him or being physical where he feels like I don't want to go underneath that guy again because he's beating me up or I'm giving him points to him. But if every time he shoots, the first thing I do is this. What, shoot on me again? Did I ever put my weight on him? That's a free shot. To me, that's a... And if I'm him, I'm going to keep taking free shots until I can take you down and beat you. So what you want to make sure you do is when he shoots, make him pay. Get your hips involved. Making sure your weight. You're getting intimidated so he doesn't want to go back underneath there again. Forearm. You got to make sure you got your hips involved in the fight. Okay? That's really one of the... I'm old, guys, and I still wrestle with my college guys, and I'm not as fast as I used to be, and I'm smart, though. I know that I don't have a lot of gas in my gas tank, so I got to take a lot of the gas out of their gas tank. So I want them to shoot. I want them to have to fight my hips for a couple of minutes. Then after that, they're a little bit slower, have a little less piss of vinegar, and I can start taking it down. You know? So I take a little gas out of the tank so I can score points. It's a very simple concept, and it's easy because all I'm doing is making him carry my weight for about 2 minutes. Now he's tired as I'm tired, because I started out tired, because I'm not in very good shape. So now he's as tired as I am. Now I can score points, okay? When a person does shoot, let's say he shoots and he actually locks his hands on your legs. You've done everything you can with your hips. He's got your legs up, okay? So we're gonna start off with this stage. Head inside single so they can do that. So shoot the head inside single. I square up and I can't get my leg back. We've all been there. And when you get to this position, you're trying to get your hips squared up. You can't fight the process of this guy. He's a good wrestler too. What you got to do is you got to think about, you stay right where you're at, you got to think about his body as a foundation at this point. If he's on his knees, he's going to be physically strong. He has a good foundation. I have to take him off his foundation. So I'm here, I'll block the knee, I'll pop him on the hip. Just broke his foundation, now I can get my leg. Now he's trying to protect himself and not score, and I can try to spin behind him, okay? I'm gonna try to break his foundation. If I can't get my legs back and use my hips to square up on him, I gotta find a way to break his foundation. So if he's in on the head inside single, the reason I block his knee is because if I just go around his waist, his knee will slide out and he'll keep his foundation. You see that? But once I block it, his hips go over his knee. Now I got it. square my hips up. And once he's on his belly, think about this, guys. One sure thing I know about wrestling, and don't ever forget this, a wrestler can't score points on you as long as their hands, their knees, or their feet are in the mat. So get off before this. He can't beat you here, can't score points here. Get in a referee's position. Can't score points here. Can't score points here. There's no way he can score with his hands and knees in the mat. Get to a tripod. Can't score points there. That's why when I'm wrestling guys, I'm always trying to put them in those three positions. They can't score. They can't reverse. They can't switch. They can't grab my legs. They can't do anything as long as their hands, knees, or feet are in the mat. So this is a position that I'm always trying to put my opponent in competition in whenever I'm wrestling, top, bottom, or neutral. In this position, okay? So when he shoots, I break his foundation. Go ahead, one more time so you can see. Build up, build up. Let's say that this knee, I can't get him this way because he's got all this weight going this way. Well, I'm going to be smarter than him. I'm going to block the other side and take him this way. And break his foundation. I'm not thinking, it's not about moves anymore. It's about what I know I have to do. I have to get him off his foundation to make him weaker so I can actually win that position. And for me, wrestling is all about position. It's not about moves. And maybe I'll explain a little bit more of that tomorrow, but it's not about moves. Everybody can shoot high crotch, double leg, single leg. I mean, I got a 9-year-old boy, 11-year-old boy. They can hit beautiful moves, but that doesn't mean they understand how to wrestle in certain positions. That's why they beat. Okay? So now let's say he shoots a high crotch. Same concept. I can't get my leg back. So what I want to do is I want to get my knees to the mat as fast as I can, or as hard as I can. So I'm going to take my knee and just put it down. I didn't try to take my leg away because he's strong. He's got to hold it in tight so they can see I can't get it back. Now I'm going to go right back to the same concept as before. How do I break his foundation? Now I can get stronger than him and beat him. One more time. He shot. He beat my head, my hands. My hands. My knee goes down. Closes the mat off. Keeps him close to the mat too. Now I can actually find a way up. Maybe I'll take him this way. Up. Now I can try to score on him. I broke his foundation. Okay? And those little things right there, guys, especially in the heat of a battle, it's not about moves. It's about knowing what you have to do to take away his ability to take you down. You got to knock him off his foundation, and now it gives you a chance to free up your legs. One more thing that I do, I do a lot in the high crotch position that I think might help some of you guys. Guys shoots a high crotch on me. Okay. So remember, the closer I can take his chest to the mat, the harder it's going to be for him to drive through and finish it. So right away, I put my knee down. I squash it. Now from here, I'm going to put myself in a situation where his legs are going to be going this way, and I'm going to get my whole body and legs going the opposite direction, like not the opposite direction, but in a T situation. So I go here. Even if I have to reach over his back. See how he let go of me? Because I put a lot of pressure on his shoulders. I'm fighting all my weight on one shoulder by reaching across them like that, and I call it fighting for the T. Once I get the T, he flattens out just like this, and then I go behind the score. All right, come on out here real quick, Jeremy. I feel like Jeremy is fighting to the T. All right, and I know it might look a little strange, but when you try this with your partner or opponent, you'll see that it actually does free up your legs for you because you're putting a lot of pressure on the shoulder. Let's see, another thing in high crotch. You know, this is the little whoop-de-roll type things. I'm not a big scramble type guy like to roll people around and stuff, but this works right here. Put my knee down, and you know, you can actually grab an ankle and roll him. You can actually bump, square back up, type stuff. I mean, those are like, for me, those are like really last resort. I feel like to be able to use my weight and my strength is what I want to use every single chance I get in a wrestling match. So I would try to put my knee down and fight for the T so I can actually score points. Any questions so far? We're going to go over another situation. When he shoots a double leg, because I see a lot of you little guys giving up doubles. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's really hard to give up a double leg as long as you keep your lead leg out in front, your other leg in the back. So, hold on a second. So if I know the guy's going to shoot a double, I'm going to force feed him to take the single. Okay? So So if he goes to shoot, it's going to be really hard for me to get to that back leg, so I have an opportunity to defend myself. All right? Now that's ideal. Let's say he actually shoots and actually gets the double leg. Same thing comes in mind. I'd rather him have one leg than two. So he shoots the double on me. Stop. I fight one leg away. Now I'm fighting a single, and now I'm just going to him and try to score on him. So wrestling is, a lot of this is thinking and wrestling with people and understanding their body. I mean, what's the worst of two evils? If I give up both my legs, I'm probably going to fall on my butt and just give up the score. But if I give up one, I have the opportunity to still defend myself. So he shoots the beautiful double. He's got no. I fight one back. I fight one away. So now I have the opportunity to square up and take him down. Okay? I can go over the situation, but if not, I can keep going. I'm watching, especially the little guys today. A lot of you guys will shoot, when the guy shoots, you will go immediately to an underhook. If you're gonna do those underhook situations, I don't prefer them because I think it's just hard to become a better wrestler when you learn to throw people on their back. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to win the match. So the guy shoots, you down block, you stop him. I like to go to the opposite side. This hand, I never underhook with this because it's his outlet. That's his way of his safety net so he doesn't get taken down. I'll drop my hand to the chin or I go high elbow. But if I keep it this chin, I go underhook on the far side. On the far side. Everybody see that? And I want it high. I don't want it down low. I want my hand high. Now this is one of the things, and I watched a couple of you little guys. Some of you guys are professional. What do you guys call this position?
Head and arm.
Head and arm? It's not called like
That's what we call it.
Some of you guys are professionals at this. I mean, you guys are really good. You get here, it's over. But one of the things that I try to do is make sure I keep the neck tight, and I want to try to put his chin in my back pocket. That's one of the big things. When I'm trying to put his chin in my back pocket, I'm actually trying to grab his far hip so I can keep that elbow from punching down to the mat. So I put his chin in my back pocket, and I reach. And that's what helps me get him on his back, get him going in the right direction. Then you always run into those guys that are actually really strong, right? So you pull and you're doing this. Well, now you might have to throw your leg in there and get him off boundary. He's not going anywhere. That's the best thing about it. Once you get him nice and tight here on the chin and you reach over here, I mean, Jeremy's not going anywhere. Give me a little resistance, Jeremy. See, he's not going anywhere. I can pretty much do whatever I want. He's got one hand out of the fight. The other one's trying to protect us from going over. You know, and I'm trying to put his chin in my back pocket and elevate his far away. And it gets tight on the way down. Great position to fight for here. But then you're always going to run into this young man when I said the guy's strong, they're going to fight their arm down. You're strong, right? So now when they fight their arm down, I'm talking to you, little man. You're the one who put your hand up a second ago. Can you fight this pretty good? Fight doing this, yeah, right? So now you can take it the other direction. The only difference is I want to underhook it when I go. I don't want to keep my hand here. That's not going to help me. I want to underhook it so he can't get his arms, almost try to straighten as best I can, so he can't use his arm to protect himself on the way through on the other side. So I'm going here, he pulls it down, I underhook, and go. Beat him to the other side. Okay? I learned this from Bubba Jenkins. He won the NCAA tournament for me a couple years ago. And he's another one of those guys. Turn this way. He's one of those guys that the more you wrestle him, the more you wrestle against him and try stuff, the more he's gonna be able to do moves to you. And so this was his setup though. He would go here hard and wait for that guy to do that. And now, and remember I got this from Bubba Jenkins. He would pull this arm and it almost go straight, drop his head in the hole. There's no defense. There's no way this guy can stop him from going to his back now. Come all the way through, punch, sit him up, seat belt him, stick him. He did it 2 times in the NCAA tournament before he won it in competition. So I know it. You know this here, how do I protect him?
Yeah, like if you bring your arm out, like you were showing.
You show me. Am I trying to go behind him or am I trying to turn him? Is my hand here? Oh, right here when I try to go behind him. Can he put his hand up? That's a good question. Okay, so make sure I got this right. So when I'm here and I'm trying to go behind him, you're worried about him bringing his arm up and stopping me.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a very good question. So when I'm here, remember I said I push and I pull. Once I pull, his shoulders are down, I beat his shoulder. Now I don't care if he brings his hand up at this point. I mean, he's not going to bring it up to be able to stop me or grab my leg. You understand that? So all I want to do is I want to beat his shoulder with my chest, and then I can get behind him. If he stays on his knees, I always attack his ankle. So when I start going and going and going, he turns into me, turns in right to the cradle. Okay? I always go to the ankle if he stays on his knees. Beat the shoulder. As long as you beat the shoulder, he can't bring his arm up. Any other questions? Trying to think. How much time do I got? 3. I think that, especially for you young guys, something that you got to really start thinking about. Okay, the best guys don't give up points. So I think that I know that it's fun to go to the room and learn how to shoot shots and do technique, but defensive technique too. But doing technique, but you got to learn how to defend your leg. You got to learn how to defend. I mean, Codwell, that goes to the University of Oklahoma, doesn't score a lot of points, but he doesn't give up a lot of points, and he's on his way to being a 4-time All-American, NCAA finalist. You know, and then you just seen Date, and there's just a lot of really good wrestlers out there right now that they make it very tough to score points, and that's why I know that it wasn't the most exciting session, probably as far as learning moves, but I think that defense is something that a lot of you guys, or a lot of us in general, have to get better at if we want to win some of these tougher matches. And if you want to win national championships, if the other guy can't score, and you can find one way to score, you win the match if you don't give up a point to him. So I appreciate everybody coming in and listening to me, and hopefully I didn't bore you guys too much. And tomorrow I'll try to show something more exciting, some technique on my feet, whereas I'm scoring on my feet or something like that. Question? Yeah, he asked a very good question. He said that because he feels like he's shorter than a lot of people in his brackets, what advantages does he have? I'm glad that a young man like yourself is thinking about that. Well, one of the big advantage is I'm shorter than him. I don't have to get down as low as him in a stance. He has to work a lot harder to be in a good stance than I do because I'm shorter than him. So when we face off, I start getting down here, he's going to start filling in his legs a lot sooner than I'm going to start filling in my legs if I stay in a good stance. So he's going to, maybe if he pops up, I can be easy to get to his legs. If he comes out there and I'm shorter than him, just step a little bit higher this time, and he doesn't get in a stance at all, it's going to be a lot easier for me to run and go get legs. Okay? So being shorter in your competition in wrestling is actually probably better than being taller. It's probably more of an advantage than a disadvantage. I wrestled with a guy named Townsend Saunders at Arizona State, silver medalist, NCAA finalist. He's silver medalist in the Olympics. Silver medalist in the Olympics, 2-time Olympian. He was about 5'2", and I'm telling you, he was, really rocked up, but he's 5'2". So I mean, he just bends over. I'm still having to be down here just to keep him off my legs, and he just had to bend over. So it's a huge advantage, I think. So don't think of it as a disadvantage. It's probably a good advantage for you. You stay in a good stance, and the thing about it too, one more time, is if you can just stay in your stance, you can start running for legs. You can run for legs without even going to your knees, to take them down. Just running to their leg. Any other questions? All right. Well, I appreciate everybody showing up. I got some autograph things that they made for me. If you guys want me to sign some of this, I'll give it to you. And also some information about our wrestling camps, SunDevilWrestlingCamps.com at Arizona State in Tempe, Arizona. I'd love to see you guys come out too and learn some more about wrestling. Thanks a lot.